непросто, но ты справился. Ты доказал, что лучший из лучших. Достойная награда для достойного танкиста. Поздравляю.
Wait, can he hit you with those rounds as well, huh?
How many belts? Get better.
Mm-hmm. Oh my, dude. Oh, you don't even need the second. Well, fuck it, overkill. Okay, wait, that's not bad. Wait, so it's 2 seconds. It's literally like 2 seconds. Another 1600. Oh my. Oh, 1200. Okay. Oh, because you hit a lesser.
What the hell is that thing?
And look, it's low key. Look, it's low key moving.
Death incarnate.
They don't have a flashlight.
Oh, they don't?
No, they don't.
Maybe it's because they're just better.
Alright, BZT, get ready to get fucked. Or the Hori.
That's
This is hilarious. What the do?
It's like, oh shit.
Us Westerners get the Taschenrate, okay? What does the RU server get for their tier 11 German super heavy? The Mouse King. This is what it looks like. It's pretty chonky, pretty enormous. Got the dual tracks, the dual guns, a little bit of everything, right? And so this tank is the most ridiculous, most powerful piece of machinery in every tank game. It's more powerful than NA, EU, Blitz, Console, War Thunder. Doesn't matter. This beats all of them. And there really is only one thing you can compare it to. I know this seems like a joke, but it's not. Okay? The Mouse King versus the Immortal. Now, the Immortal is a game mode boss. It actually has the slight edge on DPM. Now, the damages are basically the same, but it's a double barrel autoloader with 0 seconds intraclip reload. Now, of course, that's not actually what its intraclip is. It's just that Tanks GG can't really comprehend what the hell a double barrel autoloader is. And we'll get more into that later. We go down. The aim time is better than the Immortal. The accuracy is much worse, although I'd say this is just average accuracy. The dispersion factors on the Mouse King are better than the Immortal, and it gets more gun depression. Now, mobility is a bit weird. Immortal goes 100 for whatever reason. I don't know, when we're fighting this boss, it doesn't seem like it's going 100. Maybe when it's using the rockets, but I would say it's definitely faster than the Mouse King. One slight issue. The Mouse King has an ability. Its ability is called Juggernaut. When you have this ability activated, it does change your gun characteristics. Tanks GG isn't able to update it. But it does make your engine power go to 4,200, which is not so far behind from the 5,000 the Immortal has. And here's what really gets me. The Mouse King is heavier than the Immortal. What? The Mouse King can ram an Immortal. Don't ask how. The rest of the stats are a bit silly, but because like the Immortal, it's like, oh, 500, 500. Listen, the Immortal armor is this. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's got weak spots, right? Weak spot here, in angles, weak spot there, and it's weak. It's only 80 millimeters. What about the Mouse King? I don't see any weak spots here. The best you can do is this, but yeah. I don't know, man. I think I know what armor I would pick. But like, let's be all serious now. Let's compare it to the Taschenrate. First of all, the DPM blows the Taschenrate out of the water. The Rat has a bit more alpha damage, but it doesn't have a double barrel autoloader, let me tell you. The gun handling are kind of similar, kind of not. The Rat aim time is a lot better, and the turret traverse is much, much better. But aside from that, they're kind of the same. And again, the Mouse King beats it out on gun depression. The Mouse King is actually faster. It goes 25 as opposed to 20. Same reverse speed, pretty much the same power to weight. Again, weighs 250 tons. And then if you look at the armor, you might think the Rat has better side armor, but we'll get to the armor. And the Mouse King's health is less. Then not entirely fair. This is the Taschenrate with upgrades. So if I just quickly do this, and I don't know, which one of these gives you more health? Here we go. Once you have your field mods, the Mouse King is actually way healthier than the Rat. 3,820 base. We haven't even added hardening yet, okay? So, and of course, as you can imagine, the camo is 0, basically, because holy shit. It does get some nice view range, though. 410 is nice view range. But as I've previously alluded to, if you look at the armor, it's quite similar to a mouse. I mean, it's called the Mouse King after all. The Mouse King, or the mouse, I should say, armor, 200. Lower plate, 200. Upper plate, right? Okay, what's the Mouse King's armor? It's actually the same. 200 lower plate, 200 upper plate. Except, I should mention that this is the ass. This is the front. You're not penning this thing. Unangled, it's already 300. Angled, it's 400. This tank gets sabos, as you can imagine, because it's a tier 11 on the RU server. They don't do much. Gold or no gold, it doesn't really make a difference. And actually, because of the way sabos work, as you may or may not know, the damage you do depends on how far the shell has traveled through the tank. So if we just look at the side profile, this 490 alpha damage round, if it went through the hull and all the way out to the back, it would do around 800 damage. Now, if it hit the cupola and just went through this tiny little section, I believe it's like 180. So this thing is the absolute tier 11 killer because the tier 11s cannot pen it with standard no matter what. This tank is like literally unkillable apart from the rear, which is armored like a mouse, by the way, so you just angle it like a mouse. But if they try to load sabos, it's still a 30% chance without angling. You angle it, it's not happening. And if they shoot your cupola, they do very little damage. You see the problem here? And no, this tank does not get a gun mantlet weak spot like the mouse does. This armor is so ridiculous a Jagdpanzer E100 cannot pen it. I'll prove it to you. And in the replays, you'll see me proving it. You load heat. You angle like this. Jag is not going through. It literally cannot go through. Now, you can go through the cheeks. However, like the Taschenrate, these cheeks are small. And we know from the Taschenrate that these small cheeks actually make a world of a difference. Especially, even if you angle it, it's still kind of pennable. It's 350, so like, only tier 10 tank destroyers will pen it. But you wiggle, and you use your 4,000 horsepower engine when you're using Juggernaut, which is right there, 4,200 horsepower. You're just moving all over the place. They can't handle it. And if a Jag is shooting at your ass, just give him your side. Even then, he's going to struggle to pen it. And so the result of a tank this heavily armored is that you never lose. You never lose. I have played a few games in this tank. I have a 100% win rate. Now, you're not unkillable. If you get swarmed and people load gold, yeah, they will pen you and they will kill you. The thing is, you have so much armor and so much health. By the time you die, you have put in so much punishment to the enemy team that your allies just come and finish the job. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. You do not go down without a fight in this thing. And the fight is so unbelievably powerful that you just win every game, even if you get penned and die. I previously mentioned that this is a double barrel autoloader. Here's the stats. When you put it here, it's a little better. Each round has its own reload time. Now they're in pairs, as you can see. The time it takes to switch between guns is actually 8 seconds, which is pretty long. So it's kind of like the Minotauro in that it's technically an autoloader, but it's really just a single shooter with high DPM. Now, of course, it is a double barrel, and the charge up time is a decently fast 2.5 seconds to do 490. However, that's not what makes this tank incredible, because this firepower is already insane, but when you activate Juggernaut, what happens, it doesn't say it here, but gun switch time is, I believe, 1 or 1.5 or maybe 2, but I think 1 second. The charge up time is like 1 or 1.5 seconds. And you have 6 shots of 490. Now, when you're firing sabos and you're shooting heavies, you do 800 damage. That means, get this, listen, you double shot for 1600 damage. 2 seconds later, another 1600. 2 seconds later, another 1600. When this tank wants to kill something, that something dies in about 3 seconds. It actually doesn't matter what that thing is. It could be a mouse, it could be anything else. It dies in about 3 seconds. The result is that the RU server and the people who play on it are absolutely terrified of this thing, and they will avoid you at all costs. I'm not even joking. This makes this tank very annoying to play for farming damage, because as soon as you are spotted, everybody just runs. Entire flanks are abandoned if you are seen there. I'm not exaggerating. You will see it in the replays. If you are spotted on a flank, the entire enemy team will abandon the flank. It's ridiculous. The only counter to this is artillery. Because, as you may or may not know, Russian version of artillery is a lot more brutal. They hit very hard. Artillery is basically the only hope that the enemy team have of destroying this thing. And so, something else that I would like to mention, I'm going to remove the Juggernaut ability, is that for tier 11, we get upgrades. They still get field mods, and holy crap, does their field mods for tier 11s, it's far more extreme. First of all, just getting the field mods alone gives you already 250 HP, which is like, I think, more than hardening or something. Now, the first one. This one is for your internal modules. It makes your gun handling a bit worse, but this is pretty much imperceptible. However, this is not imperceptible. And yes, you do have double tracks. Lesta did not hold back with this thing, man. You have dual tracks, so if you get tracked, you can still keep driving. Yep. So let's keep going. Suspension durability at the cost of aim time and traverse speed. To be honest, this thing is fighting up close and personal. You don't need that. And now your track health is even higher and you turn a bit quicker. Vehicle hit points. Boom. It does make you go a bit derpy. This is worse than a 60 TP now. And if you go the other way, this is now kind of like a average or below average medium, but a good heavy. But you do lose out on HP. Now, you're a Mouse King. You're fighting everything right in front of you, going in, bulldozing an entire flank. I would go for the health, because we can fix this with avert stabs, okay? Moving on. What is this? Reverse speed, and what is it actually changing? Ram or explosion damage resistance. So this helps you against HE and ramming. Now, HE, yeah, artillery does hit pretty hard. However, I'll take the reverse speed. Thank you very much. And also the ground resistances, because this tank still has a crappy power to weight. And the last one, engine power or reload. And it's also engine power with top speed. Now, look, you might want to go for the reload. I don't know why I'm telling you this. You're never going to get this. In fact, no one on the RU server has ever gotten this, but I'll talk about that more in a moment. Your biggest problem with this tank isn't that it's weakly armored or low DPM or whatever. It's actually just the speed. People run away from you and you can't chase them. So it's actually kind of worth going for the top speed in order to be able to chase people, even if it does ruin your reload. So, what equipment will you use? Well, given that this is the hardest tank to obtain in the game by a huge margin, you want increased shell resistance, so you have 4,300 fucking health. You want to go for Bond Turbo, so that you go 33 and 24 backwards? You go 24 backwards, guys. What the hell is this? This is actually kind of decent mobility. This is like maybe a slightly below average heavy, or like the average heavy back in the day. But this is no slouch. You can actually kind of maybe chase other heavies with this speed. And then, of course, the last thing, you can't use a rammer. I would very much recommend vert stabs. Wherever they are, here they are. And now your gun handling is back to being somewhat respectable. And of course, why stop there? Go for stabilizer greasing, food, BIA, recon, situational, concealment, why not? I mean, this is the ultimate tank, so you're probably going to put the ultimate crew in it, right? Your dispersion factors are okay-ish. You've got lots of view range. You've got a enormous amount of health. You've got also a decent amount of speed. And look, your TPM is still 3,000, okay? It's still 9.6 seconds to reload a 490 shot. And it's 9.6 seconds for maybe 600 or 700 or up to 800 if you're firing sabos and you're shooting heavies. So despite the fact that we didn't go for the DPM field mod, I don't actually think it makes a huge difference. Now, I'm going through all of this like as if you're ever going to get this tank. I'm just going through the thought process. Now, in the replays, I don't have, well, it's not my account, so I didn't necessarily get to choose what equipment was put on it, but I believe this was put on it, and I believe maybe this? This is actually not so bad. Their version of the Survival Improvement Suite Tier 3 is actually better on the RU server than what we have. If you notice, plus 11% to vehicle hit points. The version we get is not as powerful. Plus 9%. Oh, come on, TextGG, what are you doing? Plus 9%. So this plus 11% is actually the same as bounty hardening. One small thing you could do, and I'm not saying you should do this, not that you could, but it's worth mentioning because it's kind of funny. If you put a modified configuration, Bond one, with the, I believe it comes, yes, it has this. Get a load of this. 2,340 engine health. 1,950 ammo rack health. 1,300 fuel tank health. And of course your track health is huge, and because this thing has reserve tracks, you're never really going to get tracked. You might not even need to bring a repair kit. You could just go for fuel. What do you need a repair kit for? The only thing really is to fix your gun, because you do have a double barrel after all, and if what you should be doing is raising your gun to block your cupola, and so your gun will get damaged a lot. And so if you're gun blocking your cupola with your double barrel, heat is just not going to do anything to you, and even APCR might not fare too well. Actually, yeah, there you go, sabos. It's a pen, now it's not a pen. So this tank really is the most ridiculous, insane behemoth on the planet. And you might be thinking, why on earth would Lesta add something like this and then buff it? You heard me correctly. They buffed it. Here it is, before and after it was buffed. Because somehow when they were playtesting it, they just thought, you know what? I only have a 90% win rate. I want a 100% win rate. So they made it a bit more accurate. They did nerf the turret traverse dispersion for some reason. They made it go faster by 5 kilometers per hour. They made the armor thicker. The turret front was the same as the mouse, 260, now it's 300. And then they nerfed the health a little bit. Your armor went up a lot and you lost some health. Now they just cannot pen you at all. So the health doesn't even matter. But anyway, you might be thinking, why the hell would Lesta add such a vehicle? And I'll talk about that in the replays. And I have a lot of replays to show you because this thing fucking farms replays, let me tell you. And so, let's just get on to the replays. Are you guys ready? So, the Mouse King on Minsk. Guys, they have Minsk. You probably don't realize it because I have blocked this map. And this is the very first game I played in the Mouse King. Also, this thing is enormous. This thing is fucking-normous. Look at this. But yeah, you can tell this is the first game I ever played on this map because immediately after the game ended, I blocked this map. And please, guys, try to contain your nostalgia. Look, this is basically the epitome of two sides separated by a long distance. This map is terrible. But as you can see, I literally just logged into this account. And this is the equipment it had. It had vents on it for some fucking reason. It kind of needs vert stabs, to be honest, but... yeah, you could see... alright, that one missed. Maybe if I had vert stabs, it would have been better. But yeah, this is the ability. It's in Russian. You can read it. Anyway, I just don't really much care for these people. They're not gonna do much to me, so let me just... Oh, FV hit me for 600. Oh, no. Anyway, can you tell how this double barrel autoloader works? It's kind of strange. It loads the double barrel and the reserve shells at the same time. And to me, it kind of seems like... And, oh, yeah, okay, you know what? Let me just keep going. I actually got hit there by a BZT in the side. And of course, yes, if you give people your flat side and they're firing gold, they're gonna pen you. It doesn't really matter because... Hey there, buddy. You are dead. He just got doubled for 1,600. And you can see, look, I'm loading a reserve shell and a double barrel shell at the same time. And so what it seems to me like is that there's the longer reload, the reserve reload, is like shells going from the hull to the turret. And then the gun switch time or whatever is people loading the shells from the turret to the gun. That's kind of how you can think about it. Anyway, hey, look at that. I activated my ability. That's why I didn't have any charge up time. I have a lot of horsepower now. Oh, no. That one didn't pen. Effie on the side? Don't care. Another double barrel. Shot him. Destroyed. Getting shot from every angle. I don't care. Let me just fix my tracks and finish off this 279. Chems, what do you mean finish off this 279? He's full health. You'll see. So, this is kind of like a reverse auto reloader in that you don't want to fire the last shell. You'll have a very long reload. Not that it really matters, but let me just do that. He was aiming at me, so I decided to fire early. And you can see 800. It's a 490 gun, but of course firing sables, you will do 800 if you aim properly. And this guy's shooting me and all that. And, you know what? Let me just double this guy real quick and... He's dead. 1200 double barrel. Now, do you think my battle is over just because I have 400 HP? You are mistaken. I'm going to keep going. That guy just fired. I'm going to try and reload some shells because, you know, the gun needs to be loaded in order for me to kill people, right? And look at me pushing this BZT like it's a piece of paper, dude. Holy shit. The BZT is also kind of a big, chunky, heavy. Doesn't really matter to this thing. And so, I'm loading the shells. And you're going to have to forgive the replays I'm showing you. I didn't quite figure this tank out fully until I watched a replay. And there are replays of this tank on YouTube. They're kind of few and far between. And a Gendrum is shooting me with heat. Yeah, I don't really care. What are you over here or something? Oh, okay, well, now you're dead. Yeah. But yes, the way this tank works is that you really don't want to fire the last shell unless you can kill someone. And so I quite often fired the last shell and was like, man, I sure have a long reload. Yeah, that's why. But anyway, if you look, I have now loaded almost all my shells. So let's go in. Is this guy gonna back up into me? It'd be nice. And, oh, let's see. Ah, I just barely missed. One of them hit, but it kind of scraped his side. And it didn't really go through him fully. So, oh well. Let's see, can I maybe get more damage in this game? Again, like I said, this tank's biggest problem is its speed. And I don't have the field mods in this tank. And so I'll take this moment to say, why would Ballesta add something like this? This tank is pretty much unobtainable. Okay, the account I'm playing on is a special account. Aside from like special accounts, like dev accounts, I have not seen a single Mouse King yet in a pub. And this guy destroyed me, so... Yeah, I have not seen a single mouse game in the pubs that I've played. And the reason is the missions are ridiculously hard. And I'll go more into the missions in the next replay, but I did not finish on 6,000 damage. I finished on 7,600 damage because I did blind that... I double-shotted blind that Genjarm for basically all of his health. The shell went through the majority of his tank. And so yes, my first game in the Mouse King, not knowing anything about its mechanics or whatever, I did 7.4 Midge and blocked 8,000. So let's move on to some replays where I do actually know what to do in this tank. Well, more so, I should say. Oyster Bay. The reason I'm showing you this replay is because every replay in the Mouse King is a replay, but also because Oyster Bay was actually changed. You could look on the minimap, it's slightly different. And this map has gone from one of my most hated maps to actually kind of one of my favorites. I'm serious, that's how much they changed it. And when I say much, it's not even much. I think while we wait to get into position, I can free cam it. You notice something a little different here. There's like a riverbed here, and so heavies can actually make their way through this field without getting shot by tank destroyers. This side of the map is not really changed. There's no more cave. The reason is, look at this. This is like a actual true heavy brawl area. Really. And so this map is actually quite fun to play. And so I don't know if I realized it at first, but at some point I realized, hey, I think I could just... Did I notice it right there? I think I did. I'm zoomed out, and Wilk got some early shots into me. At some point I realize it and I go over there, but for now, let's just go in. Now I'm looking at this thinking, that's quite a gap to cross, and so... I don't know, I'll get RD'd and blah blah blah. Where should I go to get the most amount of damage? And to be honest, it'd be cooler if these guys would come to me instead. Because this tank isn't the greatest at sniping. Its accuracy is not so good, but this guy looks like he's poking, and so... yeah. This happens quite a lot. 279s are quite obnoxious to pen. Kind of like T-57 heavy turrets, where if your shell deviates just a little bit, it doesn't pen. But anyway, I'm going to reload my 2 shells and wait for this guy to poke again, okay? And is that a side? Is he giving me a side again? Oh. That's a Sturm Tiger. He has 400 pen. It doesn't really matter. I did back up, though, because his shell does have an arc, right? And he, I guess, in theory, could shoot the top of my tank. So I was slightly afraid of him. Slightly. But maybe I should have just stuck around for the double because I would have actually just hit him for 1,600. However, if he had penned me, he would have penned me for 1,400. So I don't know if it was worth it. Anyway, there's a 60 TP there. That thing has horrific heat pen. He's not going to pen me, so let's just do this. Yeah. Yeah. So, Sabos do not ricochet at 70 degrees. I believe it's 80. And look at who decided to come. Oh boy. I'm going to activate my ability now. Watch how long it takes to charge a double and double shot. You ready? 1,500 for you. One of those didn't pen, but... Are you kidding me? Yeah. This is what I mean when I say, if something is in front of you and you want it to die, it's gonna fucking die. So, just like that, we're on 5,500 damage. Literally, if we could just repeat that again, I would be on like 8 or 9k, and then I could top it off to 10k. And so, yes, people do resort to firing HE at you. I can't really pen his turret. And to be honest, this is also one of the first few games I played in this tank. It didn't really click with me just how strong this thing's armor is. You literally can just go in. A Kronvan has 300 heat pen. We've already established that 400 isn't enough for this thing. So you should just go in. And here's an E100. And so I'm going to load both shells and... yeah, that's 1,000 right there. Sturm Tiger is coming. Let's see. Hey, buddy. I actually didn't do that much damage to him, and I left him on 1. I think because I didn't actually go through his entire hull, I only went through the superstructure. But still, I guess 490 is technically the stated alpha damage of this gun. So, fine. And I go for the double because I have so many shells, it doesn't actually matter. And who knows, maybe I don't fully go through him and I don't kill him with one shot. Although, to be honest, in E100, you probably will. Have you noticed that everybody has left? The Kron, the H3, everyone has left. They do not want to fight this tank, and it makes it quite difficult to get 10k in this thing. And I haven't even gone through how to get this tank. I guess I'll just stop baiting you, I'll just tell you right now. Basically, to get this tank, you have to do a set of campaign missions, kind of like the Black Rock. However, they're harder than the 279. Or I guess the 279E, I should say. They're harder than the 279E. And it's not enough to just complete them. If you complete these missions, you get their version of the Project Murat, which is a tier 10 with armor and all that. No. You have to complete these missions with honors. Only then you get the Mouse King. And so, no one has gotten this tank. As far as I know, no one on the RU server in this, like, roughly 6 months or so this thing has been available, no one has actually obtained it yet. The only videos you see of it, as far as I know, is of dev accounts or CCs testing it. And of course, me. I'm not a CC, but I, through my various channels, have gotten this vehicle on an account. It literally could not have been done without you guys. Like, really. My community is probably the best out of every other community because... By the way, I'm just playing with this now. The reason is, when Ayuxin and Kaizu and all the others get kicked out of the CC program, it doesn't matter. When I'm not in the CC program, I get access to ultra rare RU tanks because my community is so fantastic. Also, if you're wondering, activating the ability makes the eyes glow. You see these lights here? They only turn on when you activate the ability, which means this is basically the angel of death staring at you with glowing eyes. There you go, you can see it illuminated there. This also was, again, another whatever replay. I did almost 9,000 damage in Block 7k. The replays are just gonna get progressively better, okay? Let's move on to the next replay. Mouse King on Cliff. And of course, I'm gonna go the low side because if you notice, they only have an E4 for a tank destroyer. So aside from the E4, any chance of being penned is out the window. Now, of course, if they get the broadside of this thing flat, they will pen it. But that's more of a skill issue as opposed to the armor falling apart. Because, yes, they can snipe the weak spot on top. Tier 11s, as we've already established, aren't really going to do much damage to it. Tier 10s can do decent amount of damage to it. But again, you raise your gun and you gun block it. And so, unfortunately, at this point, I'm like, well, shit, they've all gone over there. That's where all the HP is. But this flank, I can just push it extremely easily and maybe even go up there and shoot them in the side. And so, let's go in here. Actually, the 279 has made it because 279 still has good armor. I mean, it's just not the Mouse King, but... Yeah, let's see. Is there anybody here? I guess not. Everybody went to this part right here. And so maybe I should have gone up this way. But I would kind of be having to shoot up at 279s. I don't know if that would be the best thing to do. Anyway, I see a 279 here. And I've decided that I don't like him being there. Okay, so let me just aim my gun up, gun block. And 279s are kind of hard for this thing to pen because of the way the double barrels are. You know, they're quite spaced out and the shells don't go exactly where you aim, but... Anyway, let's activate the ability. There's one. He's gonna go sideways. It's not really gonna help you. Oh, you penned me. Ooh, and... You're dead. Look how fast this thing moves. But yeah, when this thing decides that it wants to kill you, you are dead. And so, you can see the eyes deactivate when the ability turns off. Bing. So people know what's coming. They see it. And he did actually pen my lower plate there. I suppose I wasn't angling as much as I should have, and he probably just got a high pen roll. And like that guy, he's also firing sabos. Yeah, you're not really going to pen this thing. And so I should just go in. But again, annoyingly, all the damage is on the other side of the map. Like I said, people avoid this thing. And, you know, let's see, can I get a double here? It wasn't the hugest double, but still. It could just be coincidence. They all decided to go make a flanking play. Sure, I'm not going to argue that. I'm going to make the argument that people avoid this tank from a different replay, okay? You'll know it, I'll tell you, but... You can see they can't really do anything to me. And I was going to go for the double on that guy, but it's such a small target, I'm not going to do much damage to him. I would be better off firing AP. That guy actually penned me. I think I was angling my cupola down, and then he shot it square on. But yeah, they're not going to pen, and you can see I'm not really going to get any damage here. They're all just avoiding me. As soon as I'm aiming at someone's direction, they immediately pull back. And then someone else pokes. And it's literally whack-a-mole, which is pretty annoying. So you know what? Fine. I'm going to come down here. I've blocked 7,000 damage, by the way. But I'm going to come down here and just kind of get like around them-ish. Try to find a better angle. And so... Oh god, an uphill. Yeah, this it's a bit weak to the uphill. And, okay, let's see this. There we go. 1,000 damage double. Nice. Let's just reload another 2 shells. I'll put this replay back at normal speed. I think we'll get some more damage here. And as you can see, they're all just dispersed here in these... I don't know, these buildings. It's kind of weird. I've never seen a battle devolve in this way, but... Yeah, that double shot on the IS-4 didn't pen. That's pretty sad, but... To be honest, what I want to do is get to this IS-4 and activate my ability and do the same thing to him as what I did to the 279. Because as you can see, I have 10 seconds left. And this guy has a lot of HP. So, give me a moment here. Let me just wait on here. And any second now. And it's a bit... I thought I could break this building down, but I cannot. And so, here we are. There's one. And, oh, what? He died too quickly. Load it again. Oops, that one went fucking way too high. Again, I need vert stabs, okay? Bruh. Do you see how he rocked forward and then the shell went sort of under? Yeah, that's kind of obnoxious. But the reason I'm showing you this replay was mainly for that first kill on that guy. And the fact that this thing has a hard time killing 279s. That 279, he was giving me his side and all that. It was fine, but here's the problem. When a 279 is facing you directly forward or angling just slightly, there's a very small area where you can pen. And so if you go for a double, one of them will go where you aim, but the other one won't. And you will basically always bounce. Unfortunately, I did not realize this until much, much later. I really thought it was just lag. It was my shot not going exactly where I aimed it because of lag, which is true, by the way. It is kind of annoying. But it was also just because you cannot pen 279s like that. You can't double them. And to be honest, I'm trying to farm funny clips like I did on that first 279, right? I want to double, boom, double, double, right? In reality, to take out a 279, you activate the ability and just fire singles. It's still like a 1 second interclip, so you just go bang, 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 bang. Each shot is perfectly accurate, and then you take out the 279. But anyway, this replay was, again, it's kind of whatever. I'm also showing it because I blocked 10k. Just casually, blocked 10k. Destroyed that 279 in seconds. When do the replays get good, chems? Come on. The thumbnail said 15k damage, 15k blocked. Okay, fine. Okay. We'll move on. So, this replay, it's not even the highest damage of all time, but just what happens is just ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. And so, what I want to do is go into the bunker. I'm a Mouse King. They have an awful lot of 279s. 279s are awfully hard to pen, which is why this isn't just a 15-1 victory. Okay? I had a little bit of resistance. A little bit. And so I come over here and I think, yeah, I don't want to snipe. I just want to go into the bunker, okay? I want to go into the bunker, get up close and personal, and just be brutal to these people. And so I'm making my way to the bunker. We have already pushed up, so that should be good. Although, look, we've already lost a 279 somehow. Got penned by a Yag. We have a 718 here, which is good. But I don't think he's really gonna pen tier 11s. Or at least a 279. And so, here I am. Oh, nice side armor. Destroyed him. I didn't really need to double it, but I'm not in any rush right now. I don't necessarily need my DPM. And, okay. How can we play this? They're not really gonna poke. Which means I can't, like, activate my ability and just destroy someone, because he'll just hide around in the corner. And so, again, one of those didn't pen. Although he is angling, both of those should have penned. But still, okay, whatever. 664 is still decent damage. So, let's load some more rounds and just wait, because it would be much better if these guys attacked me as opposed to me attacking them. Because as you know, if I go to that corner, I'm in a crossfire. And then it doesn't matter how strong my armor is, if I'm getting shot from 3 different directions. So, I'm just gonna wait for a moment. And now they should be confident. This guy's coming in. He has 200 health. So let me just finish this guy off quickly. There we go. He angled a little bit and it begins. They're coming in. I want to load both my shells before I activate my ability. Ability activated. 1600, okay? Ram him for a little bit. I don't have to double him, but I might because that's his side. Yeah, and he dies. Okay, load the next 2 rounds. Turn around. Hey there, Mr. 279. Your friend died and you're now next. And I'm trying to double him, but shit, I actually only have a shot at his turret. And now I'm getting shot from behind. I'm thinking, ah, shit. And, oh, perfect. Now, that wasn't the greatest move of all time, but I do have 1 shell on the reserve, and Yag? Bounce the Yag on my ass. Don't have to worry about that. I should have waited for that shell to load because I've just interrupted my reload. Again, I wasn't fully aware of how this tank worked. Let me just back into you. Let me just angle my ass, and you still can't pen me because the back of this thing is the armor of a mouse. I don't know if you've realized it. MBT comes in. He actually saves my ass because, again, this kind of hard to pen those guys. He gets hit by a Yag, and he actually finishes him off. I just blocked 10k. How did I survive that? Look at the graveyard. I got rushed by 3 279s. Oh, by the way, there's this guy here. There we go. I got rushed by 3 279s and Yag. And instead of just dying, I block 10k and survive. Yeah. The Mouse King. Again, these are all my first day of playing. I have not figured this tank out yet. I have not realized that penning 279s with doubles is very risky and I shouldn't do it. I've also not realized that firing the last round really hampers your reload, so you should also not do it. Now, I will figure it out eventually, but so far I have not figured that out yet, and I've still done 7k and blocked 10k. However, I don't really want to leave, because although I'm still unpennable, they have 2 RD. And I don't really know what I'm going to do against 2 RD, right? They're just going to splash me to death. And I got lit there. I'm not really sure what. Could it have been the Manticore? You see, I looked there for a second. I'm thinking, was it actually the Manticore that spotted me? No. Oh, yes, actually, it seems he may have gotten a glimpse of me. And so I would really like to kill this Manticore because I really don't want light tanks getting around me. Now, Light tanks getting your ass, they can't really pen you, but if they're smart and they carefully aim, they will find like some angle here, because this is quite interesting geometry. There's always an angle where it's flat towards them. And so then they can pen. And yeah, why don't you just take 1300 there? He penned me there. It doesn't matter, you know. It doesn't matter. Let me just load my next double, please. He just fired all of his shots. I'm actually too big to poke the left side. I would love to put another double into him. I literally cannot squeeze my way around this. It's annoying. This tank's size actually does hamper it a lot. And somehow we're still losing despite all the punishment I've taken. And so, I'm kind of in a crossfire. Shoot that, I miss. Manticore, he gets me. Yeah. Still, 11,000 damage blocked, 8,500 damage done. And I think it's safe to say if I didn't kill my DPM, I might have gotten a little more damage off. Or, quite frankly, if there wasn't such a huge blockade here, I could come around this corner in a way where I'm not going sideways, because I don't know if you've noticed, I can't free cam after you die. It's just a stupid quirk about World of Tanks. I can poke here. If I poke here, I don't know if I have quite an angle. The 279 might be covering him a little bit, but... Chems, is this the best replay you've got to show us? I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever survived, but I've still got more replays to show you, believe that. So let's move on. Mouse King on Murrow. Now, Murrow is not really a great map for this tank. However, they don't have any arty except for an assault arty, which some people hate it, some people are okay with it. I'm more okay with it because I can actually kill it, because they have to be close range in order to work. However, tier 9s. Guys, tier 9s. What are they gonna do to me? Nothing. So, we're gonna move in. If you're wondering why I have 30 Sabos and 40 AP as opposed to just loading Sabos only, it's because I am playing on someone else's account, so I didn't want to change anything too much. That's how he set it up, that's how he wants it, fine. I just put vert stabs for the time being because I just can't, dude. Fucking vents, really? But anyway, look, here we are. And also, I should mention I never run out of ammo in this thing. This tank carries a lot of ammo. So, let's go in. There's an E3 there. He's got a decent amount of pen. I'm not so afraid of him. If I, like, unangle my lower plate, he might pen, but... As you can see, I'm tracked, actually. I can still drive forward. And there we go. So, I just want to get up close and personal so I can just kill this guy. See this guy right here? There's one. There we go, load. Load the next one. And... dead. And... who else wants it? Oh, MBT over there. Let's see. Let's do this guy. I have no idea how that missed, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know. This just seems like a combination of ping plus just shit RNG. And so, okay, E3. I'm not too afraid of the E3. Oh, well. You want to poke out sideways? Again, it's only 370 because it's sideways. It'd be nicer if I had a lower plate shot, but... Do you guys notice something? Their tier 11s are fucking camping. Their tier 11s are camping. Before it was even spotted, the BZT decided, yeah, I'm not going to this corner, I'm going back here. The MBT was like, yeah, I'm not going to this hull down, I'm actually going to go back here. Their E3 is like, yeah, I'm not going over, I'm going hull down over here. Which is just annoying. It makes getting 10k damage kind of difficult because people just run. However, I've already blocked 8,000. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've already fucking blocked 8,000. And so I think maybe I can come this way and get around them because it would close the range a bit. And I was thinking, well, actually, I could just crest this and double this E75. It is his side, so it won't do the hugest amount of damage, but it should still do around 1,000. And so here he is. And he actually unangled a little bit, so I did 1,100. Amazing. So there we go, we're already at 4,000 damage. This E75 was not paying attention and just got smacked for basically a high roll Yag, even a 4K firing AP. That's what just happened to him. And so, Waffle. That thing has decent amount of pen, but more importantly, hold on, there we go. It looks like only one of them hit, but sure, it has a decent amount of pen. He does have my broadside if I want to go this way. So it actually is pretty important that I take this guy out. It also looks like he's using the 750 mil gun, so there we go, killed him. Perfect. And check this out, they've actually moved up here. And so, okay, I'm gonna come and attack them now. Do you notice the BZT was reversing? Yeah. The BZT moves up. He's a bit indecisive. He sees me. My turret is angled towards him, and then I look to him, and then... Oh, nice lower plate. Again, only one of those penned, which is rather obnoxious. I should have hit him for 1,600, but... You know, it is what it is. My ability is not active, so I can't quite go just Berserker, or Juggernaut as they call it. I can't go Juggernaut quite yet. And so I'm thinking, wait, actually, if I just back up and wait 15 seconds, I can go Juggernaut. Although this guy's giving me his side. Okay, I'll put a shot into him. Perfect. And we've got 8 seconds. I'm actually backing off, hoping they might move up a little bit. Spoiler, the BZT certainly doesn't move up. And that's pretty annoying. I now have a dead gunner. Although, let's see, come on. Oh, perfect. But yeah, do I really want to go Juggernaut with a dead gunner? I mean, it's already kind of hard to pen tanks with high ping. However, BZT, its lower plate isn't that small. And so I'm thinking, if I full commit, you see that guy just died right there. If I full commit, I'll literally be giving my ass and rear to these guys. And yes, the ass inside is strong, but all they have to do is wait for a flat angle, like a mouse. Just wait for a flat angle and they pen. And I have 1,500 HP, so I'm not actually so sure it's the greatest idea to go over there. Plus, this MBT has health. I would actually love to just destroy this MBT. You can see he's moved up. You see that? He's finally moved up now that I've left the flank. And you know what? I could try and save this 704 and try to kill this guy. And oh wow, he took a big hit from that 704. As soon as he takes that hit, he decides to leave. Now, I don't know if it's because he took the hit from the 704 or because he thinks I'm coming to him, because I haven't been spotted for a while. And so right now I'm very annoyed. Like, I want to get 10k or even 15k, but everybody's just avoiding me. And so I come over here. Is he even here? Where is he? Did he just fully leave? Now I'm thinking, okay, so what do I do? If you look at the map, it's actually impossible to approach from any angle. Any angle I approach from, I'm giving my side to the enemies. And so it's like, holy fuck. Really, the only way to approach would be this way. And so I don't know if I am going to do that. It looks like I'm going to do that. But I see this guy get spotted, so I'm like, can I get a shot into him? Can I get a shot into him? He backs off, and maybe I can get a shot on these guys right now. Maybe they're poking this. So I poke, and this guy immediately backs off. Okay. Well, now they know I'm here. Guys. And he fires that, and he misses. I'm, like, thinking, God damn it. What do I do? Like, if I want to go over here, I will eat a shot in the side from the BZT, which I don't want to do. However, something I've realized, the Char Future has left, and there's only an... Okay, the Char's dead. There's only a Nemesis there. And so... And actually, the Nemesis left, but the thought process was, I can survive being shot in the ass by a Nemesis. It's just one guy, as opposed to two guys, one of them being an autoloader. So now I will push in, because there's no more crossfire. I can just go in and shoot people. But you can see, it is rather obnoxious trying to get 10k when people are just constantly avoiding you. And so this guy gets shot. Okay. I'm gonna now come around this corner and try to kill these people. Look, at the moment I get lit, he's running. Running, running, run. He's not even like... Oh, okay. Well... Yeah. I mean... That right there kind of explains why they're running. And look, I'm not blaming them for running. It doesn't change the fact that it's still annoying, though. You know what I mean? Like, look, I get it. This BZT has bounced off me like, I don't know, 5 times. He doesn't want to fight this thing because he's just gonna lose. However, I want replays, you know what I mean? And so this MBT just unloaded his entire mag. He penned one of them, did nothing, and look how hard he's trying, dude. He's got his ability activated, which gives him a better reload. So, you know what? I'm gonna activate my ability. Oh no, I bounced or missed. It's okay. Let me just... There we go. Fucking finally, am I right, boys? And look, I'm double tracked. Both of my tracks are damaged or destroyed. I can still move. Isn't that just great? Yeah. 9,000 damage. 13,500 blocked. Yeah. So, you may be wondering, Chems, the thumbnail was clickbait. You showed 15k damage, 15k blocked. Well, 15k blocked, that's easy. I'm sure I could do that given enough time. But 15k damage is a bit harder. Not because this tank can't dish it out, but because people avoid you. Like in this replay. It was actually so hard to get any amount of damage here by how much people are avoiding you, plus your mobility. And I don't have the field mods in this tank, by the way. And so, what I would normally do is I would just keep playing until I got my 15k damage and 15k blocked. It's been done before. There's a replay on YouTube of a Mausekönig doing 15k damage. You know how he did it? He camped and waited for his entire team to die. Well, not necessarily camped. Honestly, just go watch the video for yourself. He went to a side of the map where there aren't really that many people. The rest of the team collapsed, and then people YOLO'd him. That's how he got so much damage, is that people came to him. This thing trying to chase people, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, guys. And so, this would all be cope if it wasn't for the fact that I no longer have access to this tank. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I know I can get a 15k damage and 15k blocked game. However, I only had very, very limited amount of time to play this tank because the account got banned. So, this account I'm playing on, the original owner, he's not a dev or a CC. The reason he has this tank is because he rigged it. And here's the worst part. He's a fucking shitter. He's like a 46 or 48%er. And so, people see this tank being played by a 46%er. Yeah, obviously it was rigged. And so the account got banned. And so, I didn't get to play this tank as much as I wanted to. I need your guys' help. Okay? Any of you Russians, any of you... whatever. However you can get me an account with this tank, get me an account with this tank. Now, to be clear, this account is not stolen. We didn't change the password or anything to lock this guy out, okay? That's too far for me. I will never steal an account. And so, what I was actually doing is logging in without him knowing. Yep, sorry to admit it, that's what I was doing. I was logging in without him knowing. However, I did give him his highest damage game and highest blocked in this tank and all that, whatever. Listen, I'm not stealing accounts. I don't steal accounts. Just give me access to this tank. I don't want this account for myself. I don't want to steal accounts. I just want to play the damn tank. You understand? So, if any of you people out there, Maybe you got some connections, or you've got some tools, or some skills, or whatever. If you can get me this tank, I will get you a 15k damage and 15k blocked, given enough time. I didn't have enough time to get it in this tank. So, yeah. I hope this video was entertaining for you. I still have more replays of this vehicle, and I might make a second video on this tank to show more of the replays. It's just that none of them were actually 10k, if you could believe it or not. The problem is people just avoid you. And actually, honestly, you win too quickly. To get 10k damage, your team has to sort of fall apart and you have to pick it up, right? You have to carry them and do all the damage. If you're too dominant too early, you just snowball the game into a victory. Like I said, watch that video that I'm actually just going to link it in the description. Watch that video. The way you get high damage is when your team falls apart and you're able to come in and clean it up. I didn't realize that yet in this tank. So there's 3 things I didn't realize. 1, do not double shot 279s unless they're angling a lot. 2, do not fire your last shell or else you'll really nuke your DPM. And 3, do not win the game too hard. You will never get a high score if you do that. With these 3 new pieces of information, now I know for sure I can get 15k damage, 15k blocked. So all I need now is for someone to help me get this tank. And to be honest, look, you could say, well, Chems, why don't you just earn it? You know, like the rest of us, just do the missions. Look, man, I don't play World of Tanks 9 to 5 every day. I'm not a streamer, okay? I don't have the time to do that. Honestly, I know people cope by saying, I don't have the time to. I really don't, okay? These are extremely hard missions that you have to do with honors and all that. And to be honest, I don't have the time to do it. I don't really want to do it with the high ping. So, can I just get the cheap, lazy option, please? Thank you very much. Okay. I thoroughly hope, despite the fact it wasn't 15k damage, I thoroughly hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want, I can make another video on the other replays I have. They're not 10k damage, but they're still, you know, these are entertaining replays, I think, nonetheless. And so, yeah, thank you for watching.